Hey y'all, this is Retha.
Hey, this is Deandra, and you are now listening to.
Coffee, Heels, and Conversation podcast.
So grab your coffee and listen in. Hey, y'all. Hey, how y'all
What's up, y'all?
be? What is going on?
Welcome back.
Welcome back to another episode of the pod. We are so happy you are here with us.
Yes.
And of course, before we get into the episode, we gotta take care of the church announcement. So today I'm switching it up just a tad and having iced coffee. It's still the same
What's
coffee that I
up?
always have. So caramel, oat milk, caramel syrup. And but I just made it iced because I didn't feel like having hot coffee. What about you, Rita?
I went back to the good old caramel.
Okay.
And just, put some oat milk in it. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. I didn't put on extra this time, but you know how I am, y'all. But I just want to say, can y'all please send us some suggestions for coffee? Thank you.
Right, yes, we need some suggestions, please. All right, so for today's episode, we will be asking the question, what would you tell your younger self? So
Hmm.
I don't know if for you, yeah, I did this in school, but like in I forgot, was it elementary? No, elementary school. I think it was elementary school or something like that. You wrote a letter to yourself,
Hmm.
and then years later, your teacher like mailed it out to you.
Hmm.
So I feel like I recently like found one of my letters, and I was like, I really was real ambitious, honey, because I thought that I mean, you couldn't have told me that I wasn't going to be living on a hill somewhere in
Hello?
a private community with 3, 4 cars, 2.5 kids, and a husband by now. Like,
Girl.
anyway, what would I tell my younger self? Calm down, relax, relax. Don't rush this. Don't rush it. And 30 is not as old as you think. That's what we would start off with. Okay.
Neither is 40, fam.
Hello, like 30 is not as old as you think. Calm
No, it's
down,
not.
relax. That's the first thing I would tell my younger self. What about you?
One of the things I would tell my younger self, because I think I remember, I don't remember what grade, I don't know why I'm feeling like it was junior high or high school. And I think I did receive the letter, but I don't remember where it is. It might be in my mom's house. It might be in my file cabinet. I don't know. I don't even remember what it said, but I definitely would tell myself, girl, enjoy your youth
Right,
and don't be so scared to enjoy your youth. Like have
right.
fun. Soak it up as
Mhm.
much as you can because once you hit that adulthood stage, you're gonna wish you was back to being a kid with no responsibilities, okay?
Right. Responsibilities, right. Exactly. But yeah, I agree. Definitely enjoy your youth. That's something that I would definitely tell myself too. Like enjoy it. But, of course, as we know, our parents always said, don't rush it, don't rush being an
They always said
adult.
that. Did I listen? No.
Right, exactly. They always said I didn't listen. Now I'm like, I would tell my younger self, yes, enjoy your youth. Um, I would also tell my younger self, don't get the credit card in college. Don't do it.
Mm,
Do not, you don't need it. It's not that cute. It's not that, not even cute. It's not as glamorous as you think it is.
mm.
So just don't, you don't need it. Don't get it. I know it feels like such a big girl thing to do. Don't do it. You don't get it. That's what I would tell. That's another like, well, I mean, younger. I guess it is younger because it's still college, but it's still younger.
Yeah, that's still younger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I would tell my younger self to go away for college
Oh,
because I did not.
okay.
And it's one of the things, like, I feel like some of my experience with working have kind
Mhm.
of like made up for certain parts of that. But I would be like, girl, just go away for college. Go.
Mhm.
If you can
Yeah.
get a scholarship, do something, go. Because you
Yeah.
need that experience. I would have definitely like, I feel like, yeah, I feel like I missed out on some experiences that I could have had and just
Mhm.
living and stuff. So I would have been like, girl, take your behind and go away to college.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't stay
Right.
here. Don't stay at your parents' house. No, that's not where you need to go. Mm-mm. Get
Right.
out.
You silly. All right. So, if y'all have been, new listeners or old time listeners, I have now become the queen of articles. So I found an article. The author listed 44 things that they would tell their younger self.
Oh, wow.
So I will not be reading 44 because we don't have time for that.
And
Okay.
it'll be linked below.
Right. It will definitely be linked below. You can go read it, on your own time. So one thing that stands out by looking at the list is cliche, but it's true. Be yourself. And I think right. Like it's so cliche and it's so annoying that it's so cliche because it's like, duh, we already know that. But no, looking back, I remember the times that I was not trying to be somebody else, but I guess trying to be somebody else. Like trying to be the person that everybody liked, trying to be the person that
Mhm.
had no
Yeah.
type of drama, confrontation, nothing like
Yeah.
that. Everybody thought she was cool, funny, calm, cool, collective. I am those things, but I was trying to make myself more appealing to people who did not like me. Because as many of you already know, I was bullied a lot in high school, not in college, in high school and like the younger years.
Yeah.
So
Same. Mhm.
because when you're bullied, you try to like avoid being bullied. So to me, the best way to do that was to like be this fun person and be so funny and be so great. When in reality, my face in reality looks like don't talk to me. And sometimes that's how I feel. So, you know,
Yeah.
what did that have to do with bullying? I'm just saying it all correlates, okay? I was
Yeah.
telling myself, be yourself, which is
No,
whatever
that's
that is at that time.
because I definitely agree with that because I spent so much of my life being this other shell of myself,
Hmm.
this other person, whether it was for church or just at school, whatever. I was being the person I thought everybody else wanted me to be and not
Hmm.
really being
That's a
myself
good way to put
because
it.
it's like and then at the same time, you don't know who you are, you're discovering.
Hmm.
So you take all this stuff on, and then you realize you get older and you're like, none of this fit me though.
Right. Right.
But then and it's so funny when because there's been as many of you guys know by now, I'm like working through a lot of my childhood stuff.
Hmm.
I'll look back at situations, I was like, oh, I was doing that back then. This ain't new.
Hmm. Right.
So this was always a part of me. Like
Hmm.
me being outspoken and truthful with people. It's low key always been a part of me. I just stifled that down for a
Right.
long time because I was trying to be agreeable. I was trying to be, what I thought I should be as especially when you grow up in church too,
Hmm.
that has a part to play. So you like you try to look the part, and all that, but it's like just be who you are is so important. It's
Right.
really important.
Yeah.
And you of course you don't really discover who you are till you get older. But like I said, like looking back, I'm realizing that there's certain things that I do now a
Hmm.
lot that I used to do as that when I was that I would do at certain times when I
Hmm.
was younger. I was like, oh, so that's always been me. So
Right.
there are
Yeah.
parts of yourself that are always there.
Hmm.
Be that.
Yeah.
That's real.
The next thing that we would tell our younger selves is fear of being abandoned makes you hold on way too tightly. It's okay to let go. And I don't know how
Mm,
many friendships played their, played their time out, served their purpose, and I'm still holding on, you know, especially as a
mhm.
younger person, still holding
Yeah,
on to friendships that have clearly done their time. Like this person's here for a season and I'm trying to make
yes.
them be here for a lifetime. So I think that that's really good because that makes so much sense.
Yeah,
Like
it does,
you hold on to
girl.
that because you're like, I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be by myself. I don't want to
Yeah,
not have any friends. I don't want to be the person that have no friends. So you hold on to friends that don't no longer serve you or have never served you, but it
that
just
don't
seemed
value
like they
you.
did.
Yeah,
Right.
mhm,
So and when you're a person that, again, not to harp on this, but when you're a person that goes through periods of being bullied, when you do find certain friendships, you're like, oh, cool, okay, perfect. Now, I'm not what they say I am because I have friends, and it validates like
yeah,
the fear of
mhm,
being who the bullies say you are.
yeah,
So when you have
mhm,
friends, you're like, see, I told you, I'm not,
yeah,
I'm not what you said I am. I got
yeah.
friends.
So 2 things. One, it's so funny how this, like, correlates with what I've been thinking about this week
Mm,
like, when I was thinking about us talking about this. One of the things is, like, everybody ain't for everybody. So everybody ain't for you. So
Right.
I would tell myself, like my parents tried to tell me, I don't tell you, if I called my dad on speakerphone, she'd be like, she ain't never listened. Okay.
Mhm.
Because like they told me everybody ain't your friend, and I thought everybody was.
Right.
Because I think part of it is like being an only child plays
Mhm.
into that too. But tied into this friendship piece, I would tell my younger self, yes, what they said about like let them run their course and don't hold on. That's true.
Mhm.
Cause like there are people that I thought I would be friends with forever that I grew up with in church.
Yeah.
And here I am at 42, and I don't know nothing about their lives. I don't know nothing about mine.
Right.
We're not connected. We ain't in my mind, we're not friends. Like I know you, but we're not
Mhm.
friends. Friendship is different for me.
Right.
The other side of that for me is I would tell little Doretha, foster your relationships outside of the church too. I could have, whether that's with family, like my cousins, because I'm not really close with my cousins like that, but like my family or just friends at school, I really wish I had to foster those relationships. I was so laser focused in my church relationships.
Right.
That was the end all be all that I missed out on some opportunities and I allowed my insecurities to like have me leave groups that I was a part of because I
Mhm.
was so insecure, like, oh, they don't like me. And it's like that wasn't the truth, but that's what I thought.
Right.
And so, and that was a situation where I spoke up and
Mhm.
it was like, okay, so I have always been that one that spoke up, but that was your insecurity speaking at the same time.
Right.
So I would have fostered my relationships outside of the church as well
Mhm.
because I mean, there's people that I'll still call to this day my best friends because they were my best friends in school or whatever. But it's
Mhm.
like I really wish I had poured into the people who were actually messing with me on a real level.
Right.
Because some what you learned from what I've learned from me, especially when it comes to church, once I left my home church that I grew up in,
Mhm.
those relationships are no longer anywhere to be found.
Right.
There's very few. So some of it is about proximity
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
you're
that's
trying to
true.
build deep relationships with people when it's only by convenience and proximity because the minute you leave it's like you never existed sometimes.
Yeah. No, that's so true.
So
That's
yeah,
really good. Yeah. That's really good. Okay, the next one is not being okay is okay. Being positive is great, but it's also okay to be in a bad mood from time to time. Just don't stay there too long. That is so
that's
freaking
deep.
good. That is so good because what immediately comes to my mind is at work. I do not want to be portrayed as the angry Black woman, which
Girl. Mhm.
I know I said this before. I know I said this before, but this is what this makes me think of it. I don't want to be portrayed as the angry Black woman. So even if I'm in a bad mood, of course, it's not anybody's fault. So I don't take it out on anybody. But if
Mhm.
I'm just not in a talkative mood, I'm scared to not be in a talkative mood. You know what I mean? Because it's
Mhm.
gonna be like, what's wrong with you? Why are you so upset? Why are you so mad? What
Yeah.
so it makes me sometimes pretend and like just, like make up stuff. Like, oh hey, what's up? Pretend like I'm so in a great mood, but I'm really not. I'm and nothing has happened. Nobody offended
Mhm.
me. I'm not mad at
Yeah.
anybody. I'm just not in a
Just
good
not in a
mood.
good mood.
But I don't feel like I have the space to not be in a good mood because I'm already fighting against being the angry Black woman at work.
Girl, when I say I relate to that on a level because I'm a Black woman as well, hello, if you haven't been able to tell. Um, and it's annoying because this is like people don't understand. It's like, dude, like sometimes I don't want you talking to me. I literally this is the thing. I was so yesterday, last night, I went to dinner. Like, okay, so the three of us used to work together. One of the girls has left, whatever. Me and the other girls still work together.
Okay.
And so I was talking to them, and I was just people don't understand. Like, there have been times where I'm literally like in that morning, I'm over here crying my eyes out and then
Oh.
going to work. And it's like I don't want y'all to talk to me, but then also I don't want to be the angry Black woman. So there's like that thing that you have to work through, right? Like as
Mhm.
a Black woman, we have that thing of like, I don't want to seem this way. But it's like there are times though I will be more quiet because I'm just not in the mood.
Right.
Then when you have conflict with specific people at
Mhm.
work, that's also like having to tell myself no. It's okay if all you want to say to her is good morning and ask her the questions you need to ask her if you need to ask her anything. Other than that, no.
Right.
So I think at least part of it, and I know like people can be like, "Well, she's always harping on the church," but I'm currently working through that stuff in my life, so it's going to come up. Sorry if you're offended, but it's something I'm working through for real, for real.
Mhm.
And it's like some of it too was like I was so taught you don't show emotion when
Mhm.
you're out and about. So
Right.
like I would stuff everything and not really show, but then it would seep out in me being passive aggressive. So now I'm just like, not that I'm aggressive. Now I'm just like I'm direct.
Mhm.
And if people come to me with specific questions, they're gonna get the truth.
Right. Yeah.
And so like because also on top of that, because it ties with me, I try my best to be an authentic person.
Mhm.
And so me not being able to show my emotions at work is inauthentic to where I'm at.
Right.
It's like Melissa Frederick used to talk about on the Love Hour, like being emotionally having emotional integrity.
Mhm.
So don't mean that if I don't like you, I got to be mean to you. No, that's not what it's saying.
Right.
It means that if I don't like you, I'm not going to converse with you the way that I converse with people that I do like. You're gonna get
Right.
some conversation, but I'm not gonna be up in your face like, "Oh, how was your weekend?" That to me, that's disingenuous. That's fake.
Mhm.
So it's
Right.
having learning to have the ability to do that. Where there are people that they'll ask me how my weekend was, and I'll be like, "It was good."
Mhm.
Now, someone that I like asks me, I'd be like, "It was good. How was yours? What you do?"
Mhm. Right.
And learning that there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Stop worrying about the future. Today is today. Not you rolling your eyes. Girl, I don't think there's much to say about that because we've been saying that the whole time. Exactly.
Mindfulness,
Amen.
like being
Yeah.
present.
Being
Like I'm
present.
still learning
Yeah.
how to do that. Like
Oh, yeah. Me too.
I was listening. So I was listening to like, okay, so y'all, if y'all ain't figured out by now, I'm deconstructing my faith, right? So I'm listening to this podcast, whatever, and they were talking about just like purity culture and how it's affected us just from being able to like just enjoy life, period, right?
Mhm.
And so they were talking about like just allowing yourself to just enjoy your senses in the
Mhm.
purest form, right? And it was like it made me think mindfulness. Like
Mhm.
really, like I'm driving, I'm touching my right hand is touching the gear shift, my left hand is on the steering wheel, like feeling what that feels like
Mhm.
being in the moment and being present. It's like okay, like again, that comes up
Right. Yeah.
message
Mindfulness.
maybe,
Right. That's something that you gotta learn. They want you to
girl.
learn. Next thing that we would tell our younger selves, sometimes being uncomfortable is exactly what you need. That's a good one. I don't think I would have thought to tell my younger self that. I don't know. I think I wouldn't have thought I just wouldn't have thought to tell my younger self that. Like, I would have been like, listen, stay where you're comfortable. You don't have to rush. But that does make sense. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes being uncomfortable is exactly what you need to do because it forces change. It forces you to figure out,
Yeah.
okay, why do I feel uncomfortable? It makes
hmm
you become
Yeah, that's real.
introspective. Like, what is happening? Why do I feel like this? And then
hmm
how do I change this feeling? And how do I guess you can also kind of ask yourself, how do I learn from this feeling? Like, what am I supposed to learn here?
Yeah.
Because this is a lesson somewhere. What is it? And then let me figure it out so I can move
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. I think it's like about using it to your advantage. And I think I wouldn't have thought to tell little Doretha that either. I
Right.
would just have been like, girl, you feel good? You feel comfortable? Stay there. It's okay.
Right.
And it's like, no, like sometimes you do need to, because it's whenever it's so funny because I feel like there's been times in my life where I feel like God put that fire into my behind and it
Mhm.
got me to move. And it's like, okay, so sometimes like in those moments of you being uncomfortable, it's like, oh, it's interesting what you are able to do when you like actually work through that. So I
Right.
think that's a good one. I definitely wouldn't have thought to tell myself that at all.
Yeah. All right. So the next one, listen to your heart, your
Mm,
head, and your gut. One isn't always right. However,
mm,
if something doesn't feel right, it's probably not right. I think that is a good one. Because I remember, and I still do it. I have second guessed how I feel about something because
mhm.
I break it down logically in my head. Like
Yeah.
you're not being like okay, for example, if you meet somebody and you're kind of like I don't feel right about them. And
Mhm.
it's not like in a passing judgment. It's like it's discernment basically. Like you're like, you
Mhm.
know what, something not all the way right with you or not all the way there, and then
Mhm.
for me, I'm not gonna say
Mhm.
you, for me, I will analyze it and break it down in my head like that's not right. You don't know them. You don't know who they are.
Yeah.
You're not giving them a chance. You're automatically saying, I'm not gonna enter into any type of friendship or anything with them because I just don't feel right about them. And then so then you for me, I keep on saying you, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Then I go ahead and I get to know them and I'm like, okay, cool. See, I was right. I didn't know them. I didn't give them a chance. And then
Mhm.
it happens.
Then it
And then you're
happens.
like, oh, hold on, wait, what? And it's like, yeah, exactly. If you would have stayed with that
Yeah.
first feeling and that first moment of
Yeah.
discernment, you would not be going through this. But because you wanted to
Yeah.
analyze it, you wanted to break it down, you wanted to, I'm thinking about this wrong. This is you second guess yourself. Now you have to clean up the mess that they have now caused.
That's so real. I think in society as women, we're taught not to trust our gut.
Mhm.
And then in the church they double down on
Mhm.
that we can't trust ourselves. And so then we like end up in these situations like, had I just listened to my gut, I
Yeah.
wouldn't be going through this. So I think
Mhm.
that I'm learning to be like, let's listen to my gut. I'm learning to trust myself and be like, let me listen to my gut because I have the Holy Spirit too. Like, hello, like I'm saved,
Right,
you know what I'm saying? Like
exactly.
I got the discernment, I got the wisdom. And sometimes it's just like I know like energy is a thing.
Mhm.
And so sometimes you can feel something on the strength of their energy and be like, you know, something ain't right.
Mhm.
Something ain't right. Like for me, with certain situations I've been in, I thought, okay, Doretha, you have to change. You're doing too much. You're overthinking this. And I would be silent, not saying anything to anybody that's like can see the situation.
Mhm.
And then I finally start to say something, and I'm like, wait, this whole time it's not me that's the problem. I'm not the crazy one.
Right.
It's them. This whole time I've been contorting myself for this person for all this time,
Mhm.
and they're the problem.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's always like it is probably part of just things that I've been through. It's like I always feel like, okay, no, it's me. And it's like, no,
Mhm.
Doretha, it's not always you. I ain't
Yeah.
gonna lie. Sometimes it is, girl.
Right,
But
sometimes it is you.
sometimes it is you.
Exactly.
But more
Yeah.
often than not, it's not you.
Right. Yeah.
It's them, and they're projecting onto
Right.
you,
But also, like you said, when you also have the Holy Spirit and you listen, that helps you
girl.
when you
Hmm.
that helps you not have to learn as many lessons as you
Yes,
probably if you just went ahead and went off and did your own thing.
yes,
All right. Okay. And last one. Tell the people you love that you love them. I chose even though that's not actually the last one, I chose to make that the last one because I feel like, um, sometimes we take for granted that people are still gonna be here,
yeah,
and we just be like, "Oh, they know, like, just tell them." Like, that's one of the things that I do appreciate about how I grew up with my parents, like, we're very affectionate, "I love you," like, it's a if I tell you that I love you, family wise, if I tell you I love you and you don't say it back, I will call you back and be like, "You didn't say I love you." Like, if I get the phone with my mom or my dad, like my dad will be quick to be like, "All right, okay, bye." And he'd be like, I'll call him back, "Hello, you didn't say I love you." And he's like, "Oh, sorry, I love you." Or like mom, I say to my mom or whatever, like my brother, one time he was talking and I was like, "All right, I love you." And he was like, "All right, I'll talk to you later." And I was like, so then I'm sitting there waiting for him to say I love you back. And then I'm like, so then I yell it, "I love you" in the phone. And he's like, "I love you too, Jay. Why are you yelling?" And I'm like, "'Cause you about to hang up. You about to hang up and not say it." So that's why I chose to make it like the last thing that we talk about because I think that's really important and just do it. Like, you know?
That's good. I think that is important. It's something that it's so interesting because I unfortunately I didn't grow up that like that. That's not in my experience.
Mm,
Um, I think as I've gotten older, like my parents are more like that because I've been the one. I'm the hugger in the family. I'm the I love you. So like my parents are starting to be more like that or
mhm.
whatever. But it's like it is important to tell the people that even your friends, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
even your
yeah,
friends,
that's a
like
good
I
one.
will
Yeah.
randomly, my friends would tell you, yes, Rita will randomly text me just saying I love you. Like I literally would be like, I
Yeah.
love you.
Yeah.
Like, and I think it's important. I think there's ways I can improve in that too with some of my friends, or whatever, and my family, or whatever. But it's like
Mhm.
I think that is important. I think that's something that we don't always think about, and um we take for granted that they're always going to be here. It's so interesting how we do that. We know people gonna die, but like
Right.
when they do, it's like we be so confused. Like, wait a minute.
Right. Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
like, but wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's important. Can I add one more that I would tell my younger
Oh,
self?
yeah, of course.
Something I would tell my younger self is that you are beautiful
Oh, yeah, that's a good
because
one.
I spent so much of my childhood and my youth thinking that I was ugly
Mhm.
because I've always been like a bigger chick or whatever. And so because of that, I thought I was ugly. And then with being brought up in the home I was brought up in, my outer beauty wasn't really like I didn't get affirmation like that from my parents, from my dad
Mhm.
or whatever.
Mhm.
And so it's like the fact that I think I'm attractive now, like I've had to work to get there.
Right.
So I would tell myself, no matter, and I still struggle to this day, like at different sizes, it's like, and I have to tell myself, no, mm-mm. And so like the more that I've grown in it, the more that I've grown in it, the more that I'm like, I see my beauty even though my body ain't where I want it to be, I still see myself as beautiful.
Right.
Whereas for so long, I didn't. Like, I remember talking to my dad, and he was like shocked that like I thought I was ugly. And I'm like, it's almost like, dude, like, yes, I thought that. Women go through that because society, but then also it's like, unfortunately, like he didn't really validate a lot. He didn't take a lot of the time to validate like my outer beauty like that. So it's like
Mhm.
I had to get the skin in the game for myself because I'm just like, okay, I need to have the confidence in myself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like I would
Yeah.
definitely tell her that she is fine and that she's a bad one. Okay.
Yes, honey. Yes, I'm here for it. So I definitely think that we can definitely continue this conversation in the
Mhm.
comments.
In the
So
comments,
please comment, hit us up on IG. You can hit me up at Monique. You can find the podcast at Coffee Hills underscore Convo Pod on Instagram as well. Rita?
you can hit me at Read the Author on Instagram. We are on YouTube, as you can see.
Yes.
But please like, follow, subscribe. Please comment. Please rate
Mm-hmm.
and review us. Like for real, like we need to have ratings and reviews so that we can grow
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. So it's important for y'all to do that for us too. Just hit us with that good old 5 stars. And
Yes.
we will be dropping a new episode every Thursday.
Yes, so we will see you on Thursdays. All right.
See
So
you
we'll
on
talk to y'all
Thursday.
later. Bye.
Bye.